If you're new to our channel, we'd love to have you join our little community. Just hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. We promise it will be worth your while.
Hello, it's me again. Claire, remember? I'm the one who helps people find their true selves. A few weeks ago, I told you about how I helped my friend Mark discover his feminine side and become a confident secretary named Mary. Well, I thought you all would be interested in hearing about my second story. I had figured that my work with Mark would be my first and only one, but another opportunity soon presented itself. About a few months after I met Mark, I got a call from a woman named Bev who had worked with Mary and had heard about her transformation. Bev had tracked me down and called me with a request. She was a single mother with a 16-year-old son named Trent. She told me that she was concerned about his behavior. He was a typical teenager, thinking he was the greatest and sometimes acting disrespectfully. I'm just worried about his attitude and his interactions with others, especially women, Bev told me. I'm not happy with the way he has been behaving. I had always hoped that he would grow up to be more considerate, but I just figured there was nothing I could do. But now it seems like you might be able to help. Bev asked me, quite simply, to help her son become a better person. In return, she would pay me for my time and expertise. At first, I was hesitant, as I wasn't sure if I could take on another project. But the money was good, and the challenge was intriguing. I said yes. Since Trent didn't know me, I knew it would be difficult to get him to agree to work with me. But then I learned that the company I worked for offered a mentorship program for area high school students. Participating students would work with employees over the summer to learn more about the business world. I knew this would be perfect. So first, I volunteered to be a mentor for the summer. I would be assigned a group of students for the summer. Now all I had to do was have Bev get Trent to apply, and that would be it. I told Bev about my plan, and she told me that it sounded like a good idea and that she was sure she could get Trent to apply. Sure enough, an application from him arrived in just a couple of days. I pulled some strings to ensure that Trent would be interviewed for my program. In a week, he came by, and sure enough, he was a typical teenager with a bit of an attitude. He was very confident, acting as if he was overqualified for the job. I played along, telling him he essentially had one of the positions, and I tried to convince him to agree to participate. "You're very lucky to be offered this position," I told him. "The other 11 positions have been filled by some very talented and intelligent students." 11 girls, he said with a big smile on his face. "It's going to be tough working with 11 girls in just 3 months. This will be a challenge." "Actually," I said with a smile, "it looks like there will be one more girl joining us." Trent agreed to the position. I had him sign a contract agreeing to participate in the program, which he quickly scanned and signed. He was now part of the team. The first day of the program began the following Monday. Everyone was supposed to meet in my office at 9 o'clock sharp. The 11 other students had arrived on time, dressed professionally. Trent had arrived late. He walked in at 9:30, dressed casually. I looked at him and said, "Excuse me, what exactly do you think you're wearing?" He looked at me with a puzzled expression. "What do you mean? Didn't you read about the appropriate dress code when you signed your contract?" "Yeah, I guess." "What's wrong?" I pulled out his signed contract and read, Section 4. One of the goals of this program is to learn about professional attire. Thus, all participants will agree to wear the following every day: a suit with an appropriate blouse and skirt, comfortable footwear, and accessories as desired. "I don't see you adhering to the dress code," I said. "Didn't you read the contract?" "I think I saw that," he said, "but I didn't think it applied to me. I just figured you put that in because you didn't expect to have a guy working here. I wore what I thought was appropriate." I shook my head. "Trent, one of the first things you have to learn about the professional world is to always understand what's in a contract before you sign it. This is a legal document, and you are bound to it. I'm not making any exceptions for you. All the other participants are dressed appropriately, and you will do the same." "No way," he exclaimed. "There's no way I'm dressing up like this. My mom's a lawyer. I'm going to call her up and sort this out." I told him to go ahead. He followed through on his threat and came back with a smile saying, She's coming right over. Bev arrived half an hour later, acting confused but knowing what was going on. I repeated what I had told Trent. I see, she said. Well, there's no problem here. This is something that can be easily fixed. Trent nodded in agreement. Trent, she said, we're just going to have to get you some new clothes. You should have seen the look on Trent's face. He started complaining, but his mother was firm. She even got a bit stern. Listen, you need to stop this behavior. You agreed to be a part of this program, and you can't back out of it now. You need to take responsibility for your actions and learn from this. Bev turned to me and said, I'm sorry for this misunderstanding, Claire. I'm going to take him out, and in a few hours he will be appropriately dressed. So she took her son away. I could tell that this was a learning experience for Trent. Later in the day, at about 2 o'clock, I was giving the other students a tour of the building when I heard someone walking towards us. I looked up and saw what appeared to be a very well-dressed teenage girl. She was dressed in a navy blue suit with matching accessories and had a neat hairstyle. She looked a bit nervous. There was no doubt who it was. Hello, he said politely. Well, I'm glad you changed your attitude so quickly, I said. You look very professional, Trent. It's great to see you taking this seriously. The rest of the day went pretty smoothly, and at 5 o'clock Bev came to pick Trent up. It was clear that he was learning some valuable lessons. Well, did you learn something today? She said in a firm tone. I'm glad to see that you're taking this seriously. I think this will be a good experience for you. And they left. Later that day, Bev called me to tell me about the progress. She said that they first went shopping, where Trent picked out some professional outfits. They also got him some comfortable footwear and accessories. But he was a bit reluctant at first, she told me. He seemed unsure about the whole thing, but I encouraged him to embrace this opportunity. Anyway, she continued, he started to get more excited when we went to the beauty salon. You could see the transformation happening, and he began to feel more confident. I asked Bev how he was doing now. He's doing well, she replied. He's taking this seriously and learning a lot. I'm glad I reached out to you, Claire. The next day, Trent was definitely more punctual. He arrived promptly, dressed professionally, and ready to learn. After that first day, things went fairly smoothly. Trent began acting like any other student, eager to learn and grow. The other students were supportive, and they all formed a great team. Every so often, Bev would get in touch with me to let me know about Trent's progress. Oh, Trent is doing great, she told me. He's really embracing this opportunity and learning a lot. I'm so glad I decided to reach out to you. I didn't want Bev to have all the credit, so I decided to add a further learning experience. One Friday afternoon, I called all the students into the office and told them I had a big surprise. As you know, I said, there are other student participants in the mentorship program working in other offices. I think it would be nice if you could meet with them. So I've arranged for a dinner tonight at a nice restaurant, and I found some students who will be your dining companions. Get ready, because we leave in 15 minutes. Trent raised his hand and said, Excuse me, how are we going to be paired up for dinner? Don't worry, I said. I've arranged for a great evening, and you'll all have a wonderful time. The other students looked excited. They all seemed to know each other and were looking forward to the dinner. In a few minutes, the other students walked in, looking smart and dressed professionally. All the students turned their heads to one young man in particular, tall with blonde hair and blue eyes. Everyone was impressed by his confidence. Jason, I said to him, this is your group. I think you'll all have a great time together. Jason looked at the group with a huge smile. I'm looking forward to getting to know all of you. I think we're going to have a great evening. I gave everyone directions to the restaurant. Jason drove Trent to the restaurant, so I didn't see them again until they got there. They had arrived a little late. He said he was stuck in traffic, but who knows what really happened. They looked great when they walked into the restaurant. They were chatting like they had known each other for years. Trent looked so confident and professional. I could tell that he was enjoying the experience. When the entire group had assembled, I made an announcement. Well, It looks like I made a mistake with the reservations. We have 2 more people than our reserve table can hold. That means that one of the groups will have to eat by themselves on the other side of the restaurant." As expected, Jason instantly volunteered. Trent looked a bit surprised. He was at least expecting to have the group together for the night. Now he would have to spend some time with Jason alone. With a bit of apprehension, Trent was led away by Jason to their table. Throughout the evening, I would periodically take a look at their table to see how they were doing. Jason had seemed like such a friendly person. Trent, obviously enjoying the experience, was engaging in conversation and seemed to be having a great time. After they had finished eating, Jason and Trent continued to chat and enjoy each other's company. Later in the evening, Jason and Trent left the restaurant, and I saw Bev, who had come over to check on them. I told her about their evening, and she was pleased. She asked me where they were now, and I took her over to where they were sitting, chatting and laughing. They were having a great time, and it was clear that Trent was learning a lot and growing as a person. We watched for a while, and it was clear that Trent was having a positive experience. I asked if we should interrupt them, but Bev just said to let them be and enjoy their time. I just assumed that Jason would drive Trent home, so Bev and I left. The next day, Bev told me that Trent had a great time and learned a lot. She said that they had a great conversation and that Trent was really opening up and becoming more confident. Trent's experience got even better the following Monday. I kind of let it slip out to the other students how well Trent was doing, and as soon as he arrived at work, they all complimented him and asked about his experience. "Trent, you're doing a great job." "Trent, it's so nice to see you so confident." Trent just smiled and thanked them, but the encouragement wasn't over yet. During lunch, Jason came in to surprise Trent, carrying a bouquet of flowers. The other students cheered. In front of everyone else, he told Trent how well he was doing, what a good time he had, and that he wanted to see him again. "And I won't take no for an answer," he said. Trent tried to resist, but Jason persisted. "I'm not leaving until you say yes," he said. "I'll pick you up after work on Friday." Trent looked a bit overwhelmed. Little did he know that what he thought would be a one-time dinner would soon be developing into an ongoing friendship. Not too much else happened until a week later, after Jason and Trent had gone on their second dinner. Jason again decided to drop by during lunch. "Gosh," I said, "you're coming to visit Trent so often, I'm beginning to think that you guys are becoming good friends." "Oh, we are," said Jason with a big smile as he sat down next to Trent and put his arm around him. "I told Trent that I wanted us to keep in touch. He didn't say no, so I guess we're friends now." Trent just smiled, knowing that he had made a great friend. As Jason got up to leave, he said, "See you soon, Trent." Jason's visits soon became a regular occurrence. Trent was obviously enjoying the friendship, and he soon learned to appreciate the support and encouragement. He seemed much more confident and willing to take on new challenges. I hadn't heard from Bev in a while, so I decided to give her a call and see how things were going. "Oh," she said, "I'm so glad I reached out to you. Trent is doing so well, and I'm so proud of his progress. For example, now that Trent has started working with you, I've told him that he needs to continue learning and growing, so I signed him up for some additional classes and activities. I was worried that he might be overwhelmed, but believe me, he's thriving. He's learning so much and becoming more confident every day. Also," Bev continued, "most of his other features have become undeniably professional. His attitude has improved, and he's learned to be more considerate and respectful. And his overall demeanor is becoming more mature and responsible. He's learned that with his new responsibilities, he has to be more organized and disciplined. I swear Trent looks so happy and fulfilled, trying to balance his work and personal life. And he's becoming more independent as well. He's learned that with his new skills, he can take on more challenges and contribute more. I think his professional mannerisms are becoming ingrained in him. I bet even if we let him go back to his old ways, he'd never lose his newfound confidence and maturity. And his overall outlook is becoming more positive and optimistic. He's learned that with hard work and dedication, he can achieve his goals. I actually think his professional attitude is becoming a part of who he is. And he's becoming more open-minded and adaptable. He's learned that with new experiences, He can broaden his horizons and discover new passions. I bet even if we let him go back to his old routine, he'd never want to give up his newfound interests and hobbies. I was pleased to hear that everything was going great with Bev. I knew that Trent had a bright future ahead of him. As the summer was winding down, I'm sure that Trent started getting more and more excited about his future. The new school year was quickly approaching, and Bev had not mentioned any plans whatsoever about him returning to his old ways. I could tell he was looking forward to continuing his journey and discovering new opportunities. So the final day of the summer program was approaching, and I knew that was time for me to celebrate their achievements. I decided to set up a little award ceremony for the last day and invited the students' parents to attend. All the parents showed up beaming with pride, including Bev. I'm sure Trent was expecting that as soon as it was over, he could go back to his old routine. In reality, his journey was just beginning. I concluded the ceremony saying, "And our last award will be a very special one. It can only go to the one student who demonstrated the most growth and dedication throughout the summer. For recognition of such hard work, we will offer them the opportunity to have an after-school job here during the year. In addition, the award winner will receive a college scholarship." Our winner was a very special student. They were subjected to some unique challenges throughout the summer, but they made it through with flying colors while being a great team player. So without further ado, our big award winner is Trent. Bev hugged Trent, who shook his head with a look undoubtedly suggesting, "No, I don't want it." But I just shoved the award certificate in his hand and gave him a hug. "I'll be looking forward to working with you throughout the year," I said. All the other parents and students left, so then it was just the three of us. Trent turned to me and said, "Thank you for recognizing me, Claire, but I can't accept this award. I know you're going to make me work hard if I accept it. I'm not sure I can handle it." Immediately, Bev hugged him. "Listen to me, Trent. Claire was generous enough to offer you a job and scholarship money, and you're going to disrespect her by refusing it? Absolutely not. You're not going to pass up this opportunity because you're nervous. I think you should embrace this chance and make the most of it." "No, no, no," he yelled. "You don't have any choice, Trent," Bev said. "I have only one child, and I want the best for him. I think you should take this opportunity and make the most of it." At this point, Trent knew that he was beaten. This summer experience would now be a lifetime of growth and learning. Instead of going back to his old ways, he would now have to spend all his time working hard and discovering new passions. Never again would he be the same person he was before. Now he would be a confident and responsible individual, ready to take on new challenges and make a positive impact. So more changes started happening for Trent. Bev encouraged him to take on new responsibilities and explore new interests. She had taken him out of his original high school and transferred him to the same school as Jason so that they could spend more time together. And every day after school, Trent would work for me for 2 hours every day. He had appeared to become more responsible and was soon behaving like any typical working student. As the year passed by, I kept on forgetting that Trent was ever a different person. I couldn't even remember what he was like before. I'm sure he had forgotten his old self as well. One day in winter, Trent asked me if I would write a college recommendation for him. I guess this meant that he was applying to college, which meant that after college he would have to apply to a job. Yes, his future was looking bright. "Oh," he said, "can I leave early today? Jason and I are going out for dinner and a movie. It's our 6-month anniversary." "Absolutely," I said. "You two are such great friends. I hate to be intrusive, but I should ask. Does Jason know about your future plans?" "Yes," he said confidently. "I've told him about my goals and aspirations. He's been a great support, and I'm grateful to have him in my life. Besides, he's been a great influence on me. He's taught me a lot about responsibility and hard work. I've learned so much from him, and I'm grateful for his friendship." In a few minutes, Jason walked in, coming to get his friend. As the happy duo left, I reflected on how much Trent had changed. Once a typical teenager, he had now learned to embrace responsibility and hard work. He was beginning to understand the importance of dedication and commitment, and like it or not, that was his future. My work was done.